Hey you witches, how you doing today? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Taya and today we are going to take a look at the next days 6 through 12 of the 28-day Witchy Restart Challenge from Jasmine Ambrosia. This one here, you may have seen it kicking around. I'll tag her channel down below, and I'm kind of doing like a weekly recap of all of the things we've sort of gotten up to. So we're going to start with day 6, which would have been last Monday. Day 6, research your bioregion and see what is growing in your area. So I thought, actually this is something I've done a lot of work on in the past, and I thought I will share with you a few of the amazing things that are growing in my very, very immediate bioregion, i.e. in my yard itself. I have worked really hard to come up with some really great perennials, a good mix, and all of them have magical applications. So we start in the front yard. I've got a huge willow tree, a weeping willow tree, which is pretty rare in my part, so I absolutely adore my willow tree. It's sort of the grand ancestor of my little plot of land. And in the front yard, we also have lilac and an ash tree. And the interesting thing is the ash tree actually planted itself. I came out one day and I swear it was as tall as me. And I'm like, where did this tree come from? It grew in behind another bush and I hadn't seen it. And by the point that I did see it, it was like a full-on tree with leaves. Like it just, like it's kind of in a back corner where I don't really see all the time. And so by the time I noticed it, it was almost like too big to take out. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just, oh, a little fledgling, I'll just rip it out of the ground, I'll weed it out. It would have required some major digging. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it grow there. And then moving into the backyard, we have hydrangea, a gorgeous maple bush, and a big spruce tree with like the softest bristles. I didn't want anything pokey. I didn't want anything that when it's gonna like fall down off the tree, it's gonna make like pokey grass, that kind of thing. It has the softest needles. Like it almost feels like fur. I absolutely adore my spruce tree. We have high bush cranberry. I've got Saskatoon berry bushes, 2 high bush cranberries and 3 Saskatoon berry bushes. I've got an apple tree that grows 3 different kinds of apple. There's a Nanking cherry tree that I've used in the past to make like all kinds of amazing cordials and things. I have 2 large juniper bushes. They're kind of creeping ground cover ones, and a rowan tree that also self-planted. I did notice it when it was small enough to weed out, but it had those very distinct little serrated opposite leaves, and I thought, oh my gosh, do I have a rowan tree? And sure enough, yeah, in the last couple of years, it's just about my height, and doesn't have berries yet, but it is, yeah, I'm gonna have my very own rowan tree that planted itself. So yeah, that's my little tiny biome that's like right in and around my home itself in my direct yard. There's even more if you kind of go out farther, but I thought, yeah, let's just share a little bit about what I work with like right in my own home. Day 7 says, learn to cook a new recipe. Okay. I didn't do that one. I actually just did an assignment for my school about it's about your home and the spirit of your home and where in your home do you feel the least comfortable. And I said it's actually my kitchen. My kitchen's very cluttered, and I don't do the grocery shopping. My husband does the grocery shopping. So when it comes time to make a meal, and I do most of the cooking, it's become very demanding of my time because I don't know what we have. So that was a switch we made during COVID. When here in my area, they were like, we only want one person doing the grocery shopping. My husband was happy to do it. I didn't want to go out. I wanted to stay home, and we just haven't switched back. So I haven't been doing meal planning. And so he just kind of buys, like, he's like, I don't know, I'll buy some chicken breasts. And I'm like, okay, but how do I make that into a meal? What else do I have to add to the chicken, right? Like for vegetables, for grains. Yeah, so it's quite an ordeal. So that was kind of entertaining. So I actually haven't learned any new recipes, and I'm honestly not motivated to. But I thought I'd share with you a little bit of spell work that I did. I'm studying another book, which I'll show you later, and part of the first lesson is split into lessons, was to create sort of a talisman or charm to help you focus and concentrate while you're studying, while you're working through this book. So I actually made 3 because I made bookmarks. And I went on the internet and I found these bookmark patterns. There's 3 different ones. I'll show you the other ones later. And then on the back, I created a sigil for focus and concentration. And yes, it looks like somebody bending over looking through their legs. I don't know. I love sigils. Like, I didn't even notice it until after it was all done and laminated, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of an awkward sigil. But anyways, I made these and then I put them in my witchy books as I'm reading to sort of help me focus and concentrate and learn while I'm going. So that was my kind of recipe, was more of a little bit of spell work I did. Day 8, do some morning mindfulness and light incense to set your day, which, yeah, okay, that's great. I've done that. But I thought I'd share with you really quickly my favorite incenses and my favorite, they're all sort of a little different in the way that they're burnt. So the first one obviously is the stick incense. I am a basic bitch witch. I love my neg champa. It is like the best smelling, like to me, that is like witchcraft. That is like esoteric metaphysical stores. I love it. And you just burn it right onto like its little holder thing. Next, of course, you have cone incense. I love me some cone incense. I use that a lot too. I just have a little, this little dish. It's a little stone dish, and I just set the cone inside. And my favorite is the Mother Earth incense cones from Green Tree. I buy these at my local like metaphysical shop. It's like about $4 for a pack of, I think it's 16 cones, 12 cones. So this is really yummy. It's super earthy, and that is my favorite one there. Now, another one I love is this jupe incense. I have had this well over 20 years. And for the longest time, like when you just burn it, it doesn't really smell good. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to work with this incense, but like I love the smell of it. It's kind of sticky. It comes in these like sticks, and they're almost like plasticine. I won't tell you what it's made of. It's just, they smell really good. So eventually I ended up getting, this is an electric incense burner. So it actually has a dial on it. So you can choose how hot you want it to go, depending if you're burning like a resin or a powder, or you're burning like a wood. It's got all sort of different heating temperatures. And then inside, I just place my little jupe sticks, and it heats them up and releases the fragrance without the acridness of the burning. So I absolutely love this. I burn all kinds of, anytime I burn just straight like resins. You can also burn them on a, what's it called? Like the last way I burn incense, which is in my little cauldron on a piece of charcoal. But I find that charcoal is kind of stanky. So I use it for burning my loose incense when I'm outdoors working ritual. I make my own loose incenses. If you've never looked into making your own loose incense, I'll be honest, I was like, whatever. Like I've got my cones, I got my sticks, I got my stuff, got all my lovely resins. Like I don't really need anything more. And then I kind of, for my schoolwork, had to get into making my own. And I'm so glad that I did. I didn't realize that just burning these natural components could release such amazing aromas. It does create a lot of smoke. That's why I tend to do it outdoors. I will use this type if I am like smoke cleansing my home, in which case I want a lot of smoke, right? I want it to be kind of smoky. I find but just for regular incense burning, it's a bit much. The other thing is my husband does not like the smell of incense. So I don't burn incense in the house a lot, but in my little office area here, every once in a while I do. And I tend to go stick or cone. And then for ritual, I will go loose incense outdoors with a charcoal disc. And then every once in a while I throw in the electric burner. So that was day 8, morning mindfulness, light incense to set your day. Day 9, write a love poem to your home. I did it. Oh my gosh, it's so dorky, but I did it. So I'm going to read it to you. A love poem to my home. Shelter, warmth, and love, you encompass all. We bask in your strength, you never let us fall. We take you for granted, you forgive us still. We vow to try harder, you lend us your will. One of my big goals for this year, why I really actually enjoyed this whole week of Jasmine's challenge, is working more with the spirit of my home. It's something that I've very much taken for granted over the years, and especially during COVID. I've always been a bit of a clutter bug, but I was pretty good. And then over COVID, it just got out of control, right? Me and my husband and the 2 kids that were all home all the time, and stuff just started to pile up. And I really haven't sort of recovered from that. It's still a very cluttered, busy house. And I need to declutter. I need to organize, and so that's one of my big projects for this year. And I've actually started here in my office. You can't see it because it's all over there, but I cleared out like a huge space of stuff, and just, yeah, we've gotten it started. So working with my home is a big thing for this year. So the next day, day 10, is Black Mirror scrying. So I thought I'll share my Black Mirror with you guys. This is it. It's really, really simple. It does have quite a shine off of it. It's honestly a picture frame from the dollar store, but it has this like faux wood grain to it. So I absolutely love it. And all I did was you take the glass out, you paint the back of the glass all black, and then I backed it with black felt and put it back into the frame. And then on the back, I have, it's actually from Robin Artisan, his book, The Cloven Stone Workings. This is, I was working for a while with this sigil. It's a sigil for scrying. So yeah, this is my fancy Black Mirror. I like that it's a bit bigger because then I can put a light behind it and completely block it out while I am working with it. So the light, I need to have it really dark so that center area almost becomes like a black vacuum that you're sort of looking into. So yeah, scrying, lots of fun. Day 11, which is actually today, consecrate a candle and keep it burning all day to feed the spirit of your home. So I just whipped this one up. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I love the idea. Again, I want to work more and honor more the spirit of my home. So the first thing I did was I looked up home in my correspondences book, and it really caught my eye that vanilla is one of the correspondences, or one of the like herbal correspondences for the home. And I was like, vanilla. I'm like, okay, I have some vanilla oil I could use. And then I went, oh my gosh. So I've been married just over 14 years. And when we got married, I had these big vanilla candles in the center of every table. So I went and I grabbed one. And I mean, they are still 14 years later. They just, pardon me, but they reek of vanilla. They are so vanilla. So this one had already been burned, but it was burned as part of our wedding ceremony. And I like the idea of now taking something that started there at our wedding ceremony and trying to sort of transfer it now into our home to bring that sense of this new beginning, this new family coming together. Yeah. So I grabbed one of those vanilla candles, and then I looked up other correspondences, and what really struck me was patchouli and myrrh, which are both oils I have, and I'm like, oh, I love the scents. I love patchouli and vanilla mixed together. Love myrrh, and I'm like, that would be a good combination. And then I looked up patchouli and myrrh to see what correspondences they shared. Hold on to your seats, people. This is a lot. Balance, banishing, consecrating, blessing, energy, grounding, growth, hex breaking, the home, love, magic, manifestation, peace, prosperity, protection, purification, rebirth, renewal, release, spirits. Myrrh is for attracting spirits and patchouli is for banishing spirits, success, and wealth. And I thought those are all amazing correspondences I would love to bring into this house. So I dressed the candle with a little bit of, you can see little dots around the top. I made little tiny holes, and then drop to drop of patchouli or myrrh alternating around the outside. And so I'm gonna let this burn all day. And what I might end up doing, because it does have quite a lip to it, is I might put a little bit of foil, or you put a little bit of foil around the top, just down to where this extra edge is sitting. And then it will help reflect the heat back into this ring and help it melt down so it'll evenly melt down. So I'm gonna let that burn to the spirit of my home. Hurrah. So that was a really great one. Just again, right, I want to work more with the spirit of my home. So that one really, really worked well. And tomorrow, I'll just go ahead to tomorrow, because tomorrow Sunday is read a witchy book for 30 minutes. So I thought I'd share with you the 2 books that I am currently reading, both for book clubs. In my guild, we do a monthly book club. So over the course of a month, everybody reads the book. We get together for about an hour and a half at the end of the month, and we talk about the book. So that's the first book club. So for that this month, we are reading Urban Magic by Diana Rachel. And I'm really excited. I've only just started it. Here's another one of my bookmarks with my crazy little dude on the back. And I've just started that one. That's for the end of the month, for the 23rd. I have to have that read. And then the other book I'm reading is A Witch's Guide to Spellcraft by Althea Sebastiani, which I can't remember if I did a review. I have read this one before. I know I've talked about it on the channel before. Phenomenal book. If you want to learn like all the basic witchcraft spell casting information, this is the book. She's absolutely amazing. She does have a bit of a traditional witch bent to it. I love her work. So Althea Sebastiani, and it has, of course, my other bookmark in it, with the little dude on the back, for focus and concentration. And it was this book, lesson 1 we did, where you needed to create this sort of charm or talisman to help you focus. And so I made the 3, and I've got them in my witchy books to help me concentrate. So those are the 2 books that I'm reading right now. If I've done a review of A Witch's Guide to Spellcraft, which I think I have, I will link it below in the description. If it's not there, it's because I haven't done it, but maybe I will after I'm done working through it with this is the weekly book club. So we meet once a week on Tuesdays to talk about a lesson. So she doesn't have chapters, she has lessons. She has 8 lessons in the book. So for 8 weeks, we get together and we discuss the previous week's lesson and how did, like, there's a little bit of homework. How did the homework go? How did all the, like, that stuff go? And then we plan ahead for the next week's exercises. And then everybody goes, does the reading, does the exercises. We come back and we discuss it again the next week. So A Witch's Guide to Spellcraft by Althea Sebastiani and Urban Magic by Diana Rachel. Those are the 2 on my to-do book list right now that I'm working through. I am also reading, not witchy, but I'm also reading Spare by Prince Harry. Ooh, the tea. Good book. Really good book. It really makes you despise the press, especially the UK press. But even here in North America, it just makes you realize how intrusive they can be. So that is our 28 days challenge, days 6 through 12 from Jasmine Ambrosia. Lots of fun. That's my little vlog of what I've been up to. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll check you.